Hey, my name's Justin, and I'm part of the sales team here at Tower Systems. With me, I've got Michael Mackey, who's part of our support and installation team. Look, the purpose of this video is just to give you a run through on our software package we have for our produce and rural industry. So I'll go through a demonstration. I've obviously got Michael here from the help desk who will elaborate on some key points that our produce and rural customers sort of ask for and love in the software. And with that, like it might sound a bit backwards, I'll start with a lot of the questions we get from people coming from other systems, things that obviously other systems might not do. I'll preface it by saying I've never used other software, so I'm not sure what they do and don't do. But certainly the main questions we get, particularly in this type of industry, I'll start the demonstration with. So I'll get straight into it. Look, there's probably about three things that we get asked the most, particularly in this space. The first thing is something really quickly and simple, is selling by fractional quantities. So obviously in this type of industry, you might have fencing or whatever it might be, whether it's per meter, per litre, depending on the unit of measure, you can have that set up in the system. So when I sell this particular item, I've got 1 metre here at $2.95. I can change that to any sort of fractional quantity. So let's just go 2.98 metres of that. And the system will absolutely work out the price based on the price you've got per metre. The second one is the handling of account customers. So our system absolutely handles the general debtor side of things, booking things up to customer accounts, paying things off customer accounts like statements and invoices, handling the quoting and invoicing, and then obviously producing the statements as well. So if I was to bring up a couple of items here, let's just bring up these three items. I'll choose my customer. Just a quick one, this screen here can be customized. So depending on what information you want shown and hidden from this screen, you can use the filter up here to actually select and deselect certain fields. So if I go, just book it up to my account. A couple of little things here, you'll see here that it's an invoice sale to Tower Systems. When I end this sale, it'll obviously book it up to their account. If this customer wants to pay cash for this sale only, I can simply click on this button here and that will just change it to a cash sale really simply. But I'm going to do an account customer or account sale. I'll end that sale. Before I end it, you'll see a couple of things here. So firstly, there's a little message saying this is a discounted sale. This customer here might be a trade customer. They might get a specific discount on certain departments or categories within the business. So you can set those up as discount profiles and assign those profiles to certain customers. So when you're assigning a sale to a customer, if there's a discount profile applicable for that account, the system will work out the discounts accordingly. Really, really handy to have, just so you don't have staff sort of trying to think at the counter. So I also mentioned it'll do the statements. So if I go over to a statement here, obviously we'd put your logo up the top there, the customer details, the store details. You can have different templates for certain statements as well. So this one here is obviously itemized. You can do little things like passed on accounting or postage fees as well, and a couple of other different things as well. But that just allows you to assign different templates for customers. So when you do your statements in bulk at the, say, end of each month, it'll work out off that template based on, what statement type they want. Really self-explanatory. You've got the invoice number there, the items in the invoice, the due date of that invoice. Down the bottom here, the remittance advice. So you've got your current, your overdue, and what the total balance is for that particular customer. You've got the banking details and whatnot as well. And then as far as paying things off customer accounts go, you'll notice on the statement it is barcoded, same with our invoices and whatnot as well. So if the customer does bring a hard copy in, you can simply scan the barcode. Another way to do it is click on the customer payment button here, choose your customer out of the list, and then you've got different options here as well. So if they want to pay their last statement, simply click on the button. You will see the total for that last statement is just over 4,000. the balance for that customer is 11,652. Otherwise, if they want to pay specific invoices, you can simply click on that button, choose the actual specific invoices they want to pay. You'll see that this payment amount changes each time you select one. Otherwise, you can just click on the pay amount, put an amount in there. Let's just say they want to pay 500 off, and that will work off the older invoices first. Anything you wanted to add to the whole customer account side of things, Michael?
Just statements can be customized. The example we've got there in the statement shows a lot of fields. It can be streamlined a little bit further, but opened up to that fully showing due dates and the whole not due as well. So it can really customize to suit your business and your terms.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And as far as looking up all the transactional history for that customer as well, you can simply do that through the point of sale screen, other ways to access it as well. But I've got all my transactional history here. If for whatever reason the customer, their email might have been down for a week or two, and they didn't receive the invoices in that time, you can simply click on this button here, choose the invoices that they, didn't receive, simply tick those tick boxes, and quickly and easily send those back in bulk via email, or if you want to print them out, you can too as well. A couple of things on this screen as well. So you've got all your like contact information, postal, shipping addresses. You can set, credit limits for customers as well. Things like what type of receipt or how they, like to receive the invoices. So whether it's a soft copy via SMS or email, or whether they like the hard copy version. So you can allow those and disable those. We spoke about the discount profile. So if they are applicable for a discount profile, you can select it here and automatically assign that profile as well. You can drill down further on top of those discount profiles as well, but I won't sort of go into too much of that now. And yeah, things like notes and a couple of other things you can do as well. Cool. And the last thing was how easy it is to bring stock in. So being in the produce and rural space, we link with a lot of the major suppliers, one being Air. And I'll get Michael to talk more about the Air integration if that's all right.
Absolutely. So Air has the ability to send you a CSV invoice daily for stock that's delivered out of their main warehouse. So when you place your orders through Air, instead of you having to sit here and type in the supplier code, check the right item, put in the quantity, put in the cost, put in the cell, Air is going to give you half of that or nearly 3/4 of that data in a CSV invoice. Justin's already loaded an example here. If he clicks on view,
He'll
we can
actually, yeah,
or you
you
can
can
process
view
it.
the invoice. Yeah.
Yeah, you can view it. But it saves you time. The main point is that you don't have to sit there and type in any manual data. It's all done for you. If a cost price changes, the system will warn you so you can check your new sell price before you accept it. And it's an absolute time saver. You could take, a 4-page invoice from Air being a massive order would take you a few hours to enter in manually. Whereas with the CSV option, it can be done within a matter of minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, Air's not the only one. We do Kongs as well, Eastern Distributors, and a bunch of others in the space as well.
Yep. And any supplier that has the ability to send you an Excel format of their invoices, you can tweak and turn into a CSV invoice to save a bit of time.
Yeah, yeah. And look, just while we're talking about, saving time, bringing stock into the system, we've done recent integrations, particularly so one with a online database called Barcode Lookup. So you'll see here they've got over 800 million stock items in their database currently. That's growing really quickly as well. I think last month I saw it at about 500 million or 600 million. You might have even seen a lower number than that.
The last time I looked at this number was a few months ago when it was a lot smaller. Like
Yeah.
it's so close to 1 billion. It's not funny.
Yeah.
That's
And look,
impressive.
the good thing about this is look, I'm just going to type in first thing that comes to my mind, dog food. I'll bring up this first item here. So I'm just going to copy this barcode. So if I go back to our software, actually, I'll copy that barcode first. If I go back to the software here, if I scan that barcode in, this screen basically is telling me that I can't find it in my stock file. So this item has never existed in my stock file. If I click on add and go through my adding stock through the wizard, so if I click on next, you'll see that it performs a quick little lookup, no more than a second long. And what that's doing is doing a quick check to that database, and straight away it's found this item. So right now, I'm not having to type in a description of that product. If I click on next, I'll have to assign it to my own department and or category if I want to. Um, give it a cost price and retail price, because I'm obviously not arriving it via an invoice. Just a little thing here, we can go to 4 decimal points as well. So another really big thing, particularly in this type of industry. You just get a lot more accurate invoices, particularly with sending data across to your accounting package. So I'm just going to do this at 25.95. Now, when I go through next, these are settings that you're probably not going to use, but you can. So we obviously track serial numbers for any sort of machinery product or anything you might sell. A couple of little settings, whether you want to sell it by any unit of measure, allow discounts, all of that sort of stuff. But this is where it's cool. So if I click on images, you'll see that it's grabbed the image of that product straight into the system. You'll see down the bottom here, it's grabbed a couple of additional info, so the size and the manufacturer as well. And if I click on next, if I'm connected to an online store, you'll see that it's already written a web description for me as well. So this web price, yeah, go on.
That's pulled it directly from the barcode lookup page because someone's entered that information into it. But the next thing Justin will demonstrate is the AI feature as well. But you can see that description right there on that page. It's pulled exactly that. So it already saves you a bit of time in putting any information in.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's grabbed the description, the web description, the attributes, and the image. But another integration we've done is the ChatGPT stuff. So if I'm not happy with what they've given me, I can delete that. I can say generate AI description, and within a couple of seconds, that's got AI to write a more extended description for me about that particular product. So you can see here, it's given me a couple of paragraphs. So I didn't have to type in any of that. Obviously, you'd need to run your eye over it just to make sure it's all accurate. But yeah, massive time saver, particularly, as I said, if you are connected to an online store. Once I go finish, and if I click on this little tick box here, straight away that image, that item is in the system. Not only is it in the system, within a couple of minutes, that should reflect on your online store as well. So yeah, really handy integration we've recently done. You're on the help desk, Michael. Is customers currently loving that sort of stuff?
Yes, the number of people that use it is pretty amazing. I still get blown away by the content it writes, but it is ChatGPT. It can do some pretty cool stuff. It obviously can't do all of the work for us, but writing a pretty elaborate description like that is pretty awesome for me. I'm not a wordy person when it comes to descriptions and trying to sell something online, but I love using that feature because it preempts and I can reread it, rewrite it, tweak it a little bit if I like it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the barcode lookup feature is absolutely, definitely a winner. It saves you having to go and find an image. You can get images in bulk from suppliers through an image file and import them into the database, but not a lot of suppliers have those. But more and more products being added to that barcode lookup system makes adding images to your system a lot easier. So your website's populated with good data.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. I'll move on to the next sort of feature that this industry sort of uses is the quoting and invoicing facility. So you'll see here, I've got a couple of items at the point of sale. Again, I've assigned it to this customer. The good thing is we've got the separate facility all sort of under the one roof. But if you sort of know the customer does want to quote initially, you can go straight to the facility and process it in there. I find it easier doing it through the point of sale because you've got the ability to click the hotkey buttons and look up items easily. But the good thing is you can actually send it across to that facility without redoing everything. So you can imagine if you scan 10 or 20 items in, you don't want to have to rescan those in. But if the customer says, hey, can you print me out a quote for this? I can simply click on the suspend sale, send it to the quote and invoice. Obviously, you can have staff initials and staff codes for certain things. But from this facility, I can print out a A4 quotation. So I'll get one here. So this is one I prepared earlier. So it can be landscape, portrait. Obviously, we'd put your logo up there again, store details. This is obviously itemized. But like most screens in retailer, you can customize things. And when I say screens, obviously receipts, invoices, quotes, you can customize these templates as well. So I've got quotation there. If they want to proceed to an invoice, it'll obviously say tax invoice. And then the system can also do picking slips as well. Handy if you're a store that, does deliveries and whatnot as well, just so the customer knows exactly what was picked. But going back to the facility, you'll see here you can have, delivery dates, what terms the customer gets. You can attach an order number to it. You can do notes for the quote or the invoice. And then down here, you can do individual line item notes as well. So, the notes up here might be handy for if you want to sort of pass on delivery instructions for the driver. And then notes here as well, if you sort of need to. An example is if you sell, landscape goods, you might sell sleepers and whatnot. You might sell them at a certain length and you need to cut those down. So, yeah, really handy. Cool. Look, a couple of little things. Look, firstly, you'd probably notice I haven't really left the point of sale screen. So we've sort of done that on purpose. Any screen you can pretty much get to from the point of sale screen. So whether it's, arriving stock. So if I click on the arrive stock there, I can go and arrive an invoice from Air or anyone else. If you're a single register store and you sort of flick between the both, you can absolutely do that. So if you're in the middle of arriving an invoice, you can just click on the point of sale screen or sorry, point of sale button, and that will take you to the point of sale screen to continue to transact. When I looked up the transactional history for the customer, didn't leave the point of sale screen. So yeah, really conscious effort to sort of make it as easy as possible, just so you're not flicking between screens. A couple of little things, special orders, really handy for if a customer comes in, they want something specific that they don't currently have in stock. So again, like multiple things in the software, there's multiple ways to achieve it. I like doing it through the stock inquiry. So firstly, you can see information about that stock item, how many you've sold today, how many you've got on hand. Let's just say that said 0. I can say order this item, choose my customer details, who I'm ordering it for, obviously choose the quantity they want as well. But that's doing a couple of things. So firstly, it'll ask, does the customer want to leave a deposit? So you can leave that at 0 if you want to. Otherwise, you can take a deposit and that will take you to the point of sale screen to transact that deposit. But really handy. So let's just say 2 weeks' time, that order arrives in stock. We can notify the customer via email or SMS. Whoever's arriving the stock, it'll pop up with a notification. And then if you do product labels for your stock as well, when you print your labels for that invoice, it'll have a label with those customer details on it.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned the notifications you get during the arrival process. So whoever is receiving that stock as well gets a notification on their screen saying this item is for this customer. So whoever's doing any processes gets an absolute reminder in their face that there is something that needs to be put aside for Mrs. Jones.
Yeah.
Just saving you any time of manual management when it comes to it.
Yeah, good point. Look, another quick thing as well is I've got a multi-buy item. So I know a lot of our pet and produce stores, it might be buy 10 dog food bags, get one free. So our system absolutely tracks all that. So gone are the days of the cardboard cards with the clippers. So if I was to assign it to this customer here, you'll see here they've only got 9 more to go on the advanced multi-buy promotion. So each week or each month they buy a bag. That number will obviously reduce. So 8 more to go, 7 more to go. And then when it comes time for redemption, the system will automate that discount. If you have the free bag, then it'll do the 100% discount off, but you can change that to 50% and whatnot. Full flexibility over what ones you want to give out for free as well. So it just stops people buying all the smaller bags. So it might be, buy the 3 kilo bags, but then, they might think they can get a 20 kilo bag for free. But you can choose to sort of, separate those in the list you create.
Yeah, limit what you can redeem it on. You can also import and add what the customer has already got on their card. So when it's time to swap them over, say this person's got 7 stamps on their card, you can put the 7 in the system and it tracks on from there as well. So you can convert away from the plastic stuff or the cardboard if you've already got that going.
Yeah. speaking of the plastic stuff, gift vouchers here as well. So you can do the plastic credit card style ones with the barcode on the back. Obviously the printed ones as well through the system. So if you do get these ones made up, obviously they look a bit sexier. You can obviously put your logo and whatnot on there. But yeah, when you sell like a $50 gift card, it'll just ask you to scan the card. The amount will go directly on there. With the printed ones through the system, you can obviously do recipient, so to, from, a birthday message or whatever type of message as well. And they can be thermal, A4 or A5. Just a couple of things as well with FPOS. So we pretty much integrate with any FPOS. We're not going to force you to use our own FPOS terminal because we don't do FPOS. So all your major banks, Tyro, SmartPay, yeah, there's a heap on the list. So we can, certainly do our best to integrate with any of those. Just looking at the point of sale screen, anything you think I might have missed, Michael?
No, you've pretty much covered it all. I mean, there's a customer events button there that we can use, and you can use that for tracking and marketing birthdays, worming tablet reminders and that sort of stuff as well. So you can use that for your horses, your dogs, if they're on a 6-month regimen, use it for marketing and that sort of thing. Help your customers do their stuff.
Yeah.
We obviously do lay-bys, all sorts of things. All the basic retail stuff we do.
Yep. And just on the delivery side of things, we do have an integration with, so we've got our own delivery management facility within the software. And if you wanted to go one step further, we can integrate with software called Allotrac. So if you've got a bunch of resources, it might be truck A, truck B, depending on how many you've got, and you need to schedule those deliveries in. We've got a facility that manages that as well, which is really handy. We've got a separate video on that, so I won't go into it too much, but yeah, if you wanted to look at that further, happy to send through the video. Cool. Just before we get off the point of sale, I know I just did, but this screen can be fully customizable. So you might think there's a lot of sort of hotkeys here, which there probably is. Obviously, I don't have a scanner with me, but ideally, if your product has a physical barcode on it, you can scan the item. These hotkeys are purely for things like your big bulky items or things that don't have physical barcodes. And you can customize this screen however you want. So you can set it up, whether it's doing it by department, whether it's going to multiple sub menus. You can obviously link any button to any sort of functionality as well within the software, as I've demonstrated. And even have buttons linking to different websites. So really handy for if you do your ordering through customer portals and whatnot, you can have those buttons set up on the screen as well. Just going back to that original point, just really handy for, not having to flick through, multiple screens to sort of find something. You can really set up this screen to have everything there, or most things anyway.
Put as many shortcuts in for your life that you need.
Yeah. And same with the buttons, like I've got them along the right-hand side. I like it that way just because with the sales screen, you can fit a bunch more items on there. But if you prefer the buttons along the bottom or the left or, up the top, you can certainly have that as well. And that flows into the main screen as well. So I've got a couple of different layouts here. I've got my rural POS. So, for my register computers, I just want the point of sale button, the customer button, and the support connect button. That way, it just simplifies it for my staff. But for my back office PCs, I might have my favorite reports, where I do my goods received, where I do my ordering, all that sort of stuff as well. Michael, I might get you to talk about we call it the bagging up or bagging down facility, but it's more generally known as manufactured goods.
Yep, manufactured goods.
Yeah.
So it's the facility used to break down bags into smaller bags or build things up into bigger items. So the first example that comes to mind for me with bagging up might be creating your own mix. So your 20-kilo bag of custom mix might be made up of 2 kilos of this product, 5 kilos of this product, and 10 kilos of this other product. So you can put all those quantities in, hit make, and it will make up those bags and reduce the quantity on hand of the other products. We can also do auto making, so we can make things when you're out of stock of that item, so it automatically just breaks down as you go through it. You don't have to go and make it yourself. There's also facilities to have it recalculate sell prices as well if prices change of components within inside itself. Not generally used in the rural industry, but it's there in case there's an application. Yeah, it's used quite a lot. If there's anything that you sell by the kilo, this is where I'd go to set it up so it works and breaks it open as you need it.
Yeah, yeah. And the ordering side of things. So I'm sorry, I don't know if you touched on it during that, but yeah, just doing it through that facility allows you to sort of keep more accurate track of, stock in and stock out, which sort of brings me to the ordering side of things. Couple of ways sort of people order it, whether it's the mins max levels. So that's a really popular one. Obviously, you can set your mins and maxes through certain stock items. When you want to do a reordering report, you can run that. The order by sales is probably the more popular one. So you can come in here, choose your particular supplier that you want to do it for. You can have multiple suppliers if you do want to. You've got your start date and end date. So I'm just going to do that for now. Once I click on process, that's going to bring up all the items that were sold within that date range from that particular supplier. So the reason this is so popular is it's really easy to do, just say a quick replenishment order. You've got your different columns here. So I've got my quantity sold column, my quantity to order. Again, I can customize these fields to show and hide information. So at the moment, I don't want to see that field. But as I said, if you just want to do a quick replenishment order, simply click the button down the bottom here, click on OK, and that's going to put my quantity to order with exactly what I sold. These fields are handy because right now it's telling me that there's 105 of these coming on an order that I haven't arrived yet. So I can sort of make a better decision based on that and say, look, instead of the 4, I don't need any of those today. So you can adjust it on the fly. Once you're happy with it, click on create order. That sends it to the order screen. And then from there, you can send that directly off to the supplier. And then one step further as well, we've got a show monthly breakdown option as well. So really popular for your seasonal stuff. So not only does it tell you how many you sold through that period, but exactly what months you sold those items as well. So, it might have been you sold 4, but really you sold all 4 in, say, November. So what's the point of having them through the other months of the year? So yeah, you can sort of make better business decisions based on the data in front of you. Cool. As far as reporting goes, look, hundreds of different reports that I'm probably not going to go into. But as far as what sort of data you get, you've got your takings reports, your profitability reports, your monthly sales comparison reports, fast selling stock, dead stock. You've got your stock reports, staff reports, customer reports. Your insights dashboard's really handy. So not only does it report or give you an analytical view, but it also gives you a visualization on how the day's going. So I think you'll see along the top there's 6 different tabs. We've accumulated data from about 11 or 12 different reports to sort of give you the data in these tabs as well. But we've just made it really easy to sort of see the details that I guess as a business owner you want to see. So how are you going for the day? What's not selling? What are you missing out on? What sells well with what? So that will give you a rank sales report on, what your top 10 selling items are and what sells well with those top 10 selling items. Is theft an issue? And then your busiest and quietest periods. Any other reports that you think are handy?
Oh, there's a number. There's the if you go down the 5th from the bottom, there's sales rank sales by 4th from the bottom, rank sales by customer. Good way to identify your best customers. It's one way you can sort of plan if you're going to reward them or say we want our top buyers to come in and have a night out with us. But the insights dashboard is the most amazing tool because it compiles the reports which are all spread out throughout those menus into one small section, and it's data that any business should be aware of and be on top of, purely because data driven decisions on what to stock, what you need is always best because it's the truth. It's no guessing in it. It tells you if it sells, it tells you if it doesn't sell. So you can make some really smart decisions on that to streamline your business and your money.
Yeah. And just a couple of things here. So we've got a workshop facility So we've got a couple of produce and rural businesses that might have a mowing compartment to it, where they're, a dealer for a particular type of mower. With that, they might carry out service jobs or repairs on those. So yeah, look, I'm not going to get into it. We've got a separate video that sort of demonstrates it, but this facility allows you to sort of track labor and stock used against a particular job. It'll print all your job cards as well, and then notify those customers when those jobs are completed. As far as integrating with accounting packages, we integrate directly with Xero. Anything outside of Xero, we usually can go through a third party, but Xero is certainly the more popular one. As far as e-commerce integrations go, we integrate with 4 platforms. So Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce, and BigCommerce. We've got a web development service as well. So we've developed a heap of websites for our produce and rural businesses. I demonstrated a bit at the start, but really simple to use the integration. Once you've got all the data in, it's as simple as ticking the web store item tick box, and that simply sends it across. So stock information is updated real time. Same with quantity on hands and whatnot. So when you get a sale from online, you'll get a little notification up the top here. And obviously, adjust quantity on hand so your stock levels are accurate. Because I got Michael here and he's part of the support team and installation team. Not only that, he's our chief content creator. So I'll get him to talk about the online knowledge base a bit more.
Yeah. Bit of an unofficial title I have. I've created all the training videos that you can see on our website. So gone through methodically and documented and shown and give you video demonstrations on how to operate the software and do things. It's methodical, so if you follow it from start to finish, you'll do things very successfully. If the video, whilst it's short, the videos are meant to be short. They're no longer than 15 minutes. The shortest one is about 2. And if the video doesn't have enough detail in it, if Justin scrolls down just a little bit, you'll see underneath this video, the orange text there, adding stock, will take us to the written advice sheet article, which you can follow step by step. So when it comes to doing anything, if you read the article thoroughly, follow the steps, you'll succeed. Our knowledge base has well over, I want to say at least 600 articles. I don't think anyone's ever counted it, but it's there. Videos are nearing the hundreds, and it's peer reviewed. So if I make a mistake, anyone in the support team can fix it. Customers have pointed out where we've made a spelling error or if we've missed a step and we need to adjust it, we update it and everyone sees it. It's fantastic. We can see the instructions there on importing invoices from their group. These are step by step. These are proven. These work. Customers use it all day. And once you actually set up the template once for the supplier by following these steps very carefully, then doing the next invoice the next day, you don't have to redo check the template. It's just import, choose the file, and away you go.
Yeah, really comprehensive, really handy. And this sort of goes back to if we were to sort of bring you across from something, you'll find all our pricing at towersystems.com.au and then under the pricing tab. That's obviously the ongoing pricing. But as far as the upfront cost goes, it can be Xero if you want to. So as we've just demonstrated, you can do it DIY style. We look, depending on circumstances, if you are coming from another system, we'd obviously recommend an onboarding package. And that gives you one-on-one training from one of our help desk team or installation managers. And that essentially will get you off the ground pretty quickly, properly as well from the start, just so you sort of feel more comfortable with the software moving forward. But that said, nothing's forced upon you. So yeah, look, if you've made it this far, really appreciate you watching. As I said, if you want more info, reach out to sales@towersystems.com.au. And yeah, we'll happily assist. Thanks for watching and hope to speak to you soon.
See you.